Voice. James joining us this hour from London. James, good to have you with us. Look, it all comes down to this question: who sets the narrative? And in recent days, we've seen the president doing just that with his racist tweet attacking these 4 congresswomen of color. As Democrats respond in contrast, does that knock them off balance from commanding their own message, trying to head into 2020?
Well, good morning, George. There's no doubt about it that Donald Trump has, from the moment he descended that elevator in Trump Tower several years ago now, been very, very effective at dominating and guiding the political narrative of the United States. And so long as the Democratic Party fail to have a single coherent message or leader going into the election cycle, I think he's going to be able to continue to do just that. And of course, his goal, quite frankly, is that the Democrats remain divided as long as possible, and ultimately, in his view, elect someone to lead that party into the election as far to the left as possible, hoping, I think, for a George McGovern-like figure from 1972 to emerge to lead the party. That would, I think, very much play into Donald Trump's hands in the election cycle.
With the upcoming Democratic debates, again, to be seen here only on CNN, what must Democrats do to bring attention to the issues that are important to them and their electorate?
Well, I think they need to stop fighting amongst themselves. That, of course, will be difficult because there's an awful lot of candidates running. It seems as though, quite frankly, anyone who's ever taken out a subscription to the New York Times is seeking to be the Democratic candidate this time round. As long as they, however, keep doing that, that's going to play into Donald Trump's hands. They really need to coalesce around a single nominee and start taking the fight back to Donald Trump if they are indeed to have any hope of securing the White House in next November's election.
Anyone that's ever taken out a subscription to the New York Times, James, you got me there. Okay, so there is an ideological divide that has shifted the Republican Party to the right. Among Democrats, the same divide pushing some to the left on issues like immigration, health care, the move that centrists say could scare moderate voters away. So do you believe this push to polarity will either help Democrats or hurt them come 2020?
Well, I think we've been seeing a drift towards the extremes of the left and the right within the United States for several years, especially within the Republican Party. It's been moving further and further to the right, and in this last cycle or two, the Democratic Party moving further and further to the left. And that's very much, of course, in contrast to what happened in the 1990s, when there was a great deal more centrism around candidates such as Bill Clinton, for example. I think what you're seeing with this polarization in America is a sense that, you know, it really is becoming incumbent upon somebody to try and get that center ground. Several election cycles ago, Mitt Romney talked about the idea that America is split between 47% Democrat, 47% Republicans, and of course he was right then. And both parties desperately need to tap into that middle 6% to try to win the presidential election. Right now, Donald Trump's policy, I think, is to just keep doing what he did 3 years ago with a view that that will win. But of course, in 2016, he was arguably aided by the Green Party candidacy and, of course, the Libertarians, both of which ate into Hillary Clinton's ability to win and was, of course, instrumental in those 3 key states that she lost. So Donald Trump's got a fight on his hands, but I think the Democrats are making it easier for him at this point.
And it all plays into this new information from the New York Times looking into polling data that suggests the president could have a big win state by state when it comes to the Electoral College, even if losing the popular vote. So the question, should Democrats be worried? I guess the question, what is their message, and are they able to put forward a single, cohesive message given so many that are competing? James Boys, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, George.